Welcome back, Guardians. I'm Profane. Thanks for checking out the video. With hundreds, maybe even thousands of weapons to choose from in Destiny, exotic weapons are the ones that are meant to truly break the mold, to define loadouts, and shape new metas. So today we're taking a look at the top 15 best exotic weapons here in Edge of Fate, and we'll be focusing on the best out of each weapon slot. Before we get started, if you do end up enjoying the video and find it helpful, then please be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated and both really do help support the channel. As we dive into these top tier exotics, we'll be showcasing the best out of the heavy, energy, and kinetic slots. And we start with those in the kinetic slot, where we have the Lithium Stasis Grenade Launcher. This grenade launcher has the ability to generate special and heavy ammo, a benefit that has really come into play more here in this new expansion. This is a special weapon with unlimited ammo, which is another appealing benefit. It fires out a micro missile similar to the Mountaintop, and with its catalyst fully upgraded, it'll gain one for all, giving this a 30% bonus in damage after striking 3 enemies. I wish that this had better synergy with Stasis, maybe give it a way to create frost armor, but even as it currently is, this will be a great option to keep you and your teammates loaded up with special and heavy ammo. Next up, we have the Monte Carlo. This auto rifle is extremely cohesive with just about any melee focused build. It gets bonus damage off of melee final blows, and it builds up extra melee energy with sustained damage. Auto rifles aren't really the supreme weapon type in the current meta, but because of the ability regen alone, the Monte Carlo continues to amplify the performance of builds that revolve around Lightning Surge, Consecration, and other melee-centric abilities. A big contributor towards the improved performance of weapons like this has been the new TechSec armor set, which grants bonus kinetic damage versus shields, and with a full set, it'll create concussive blasts, which makes the Monte Carlo even a better option. The new Land Beyond is in a similar position. This exotic has done nothing but impress players from the moment it hit the shelf. It deals out insane levels of damage against champions, other players, and damn near anything that you face up against. Its bolt action animations are nostalgic and charming, and that might honestly be my favorite thing about this weapon. It takes a high level of skill to truly master this sniper rifle, but even for a beginner, this weapon feels amazing. The Borrow Dyad is an exotic that most players expected to drop off after episode Heresy, but this has continued to prosper, and that's got a lot to do with its ability to endlessly fire whenever you have the full auto setting turned on. With the right build and in the right situation, that exploit can make a huge impact, which is why this exotic was disabled for the Day 1 raid contest. The final exotic that we'll check out in the kinetic slot is the Outbreak Perfected. This has more than earned its position at the top. It's always been great at dealing additional damage because of all the nanites it creates, but when it was given rewind rounds as a refit option, that's when this exotic really started to stand out. There's not many situations where this would be your first choice, but when you're on limited ammo and you need reliable and consistent damage, the Outbreak Perfected is what you go to. With that said, we transition over to our energy slot, where we start with one of our new additions, the 3rd iteration. This scout rifle came out of the oven a bit too hot, which led to a quick nerf, but even after the nerf, this has continued to dominate. The biggest benefit in using this weapon, other than the fact that it still hits insanely hard, is that you can weaken enemies and go invisible, so no matter what class you're running, this will give you that ninja-like presence, which would normally be reserved for Night Stalker hunters. Even with the emergence of the 3rd iteration, the Graviton Lance has continued to be a powerhouse in terms of void exotics. With its black hole explosions, this pulse rifle will shred through rank and file enemies, and with its catalyst providing Vorpal and Turnabout, you'll be dealing bonus damage against bosses, and you'll be getting health back whenever breaking void overshields. And for our next exotic, we turn to another lance, and that's the Polaris Lance. This solar scout rifle gets the added benefit of having an anti-barrier mod included in our new artifact. It also gets buffed up thanks to the Fever and Chill mod, which grants radiance after consecutive precision hits. And with Radiant Shrapnel, this will create additional projectiles that damage enemies, which is going to add to the already overpowered behavior of this weapon's massive solar explosions. We've also got mods like Elemental Daze, creating more explosions whenever champions are stunned, which makes this a great weapon to turn to whenever barrier and unstoppable champs are present. We turn back to the void energies with our next exotic. The Choir of One has seen a lot of changes since it first came out, but if you can manage to maintain the ammo, then this will be a game changer of a weapon. You're able to take down rank and file enemies with ease, and you've got a powerful burst mode to take down anything that's tanky. This exotic includes some amazing refit options that will make a big impact towards this weapon's performance, as we have options like Onslaught, which would increase this weapon's rate of fire, Destabilizing Rounds, which would be great for ad clear situations, or Subsistence, which will reduce how often you need to reload. The final energy exotic that we'll be looking at is the Lord of Wolves. This solar shotgun has seen its fair share of nerfs, but after getting some adjustments to make it function more like the Choir of One, this exotic immediately became an unstoppable force. It's been toned down a bit now, and it isn't as dominating, but this continues to melt anything that you stand up against. But just like the Choir of One, this does suffer from low ammo economy, which means to really see the full benefits of this weapon, you'll need to invest heavily into ammo generation, which means you'll need to focus the majority of your character stats into weapons, and you'll need to use armor mods like Ammo Finder. And now we transition to the best heavy exotics, and we start with the Parasite. This grenade launcher gets stronger as you defeat enemies with other weapons, and once it's at a maximum charge, its single burst will emit massive amounts of damage. And if that wasn't enough, if you take self-damage because of its blast, the Parasite will grant you with a 10% bonus in damage to your other weapons, which can make this an incredible option for solo-minded players, but it has proven itself to be a viable option against a few raid and dungeon bosses. Up next we have the Anarchy, which specializes in damage over time. Since you're no longer able to stack its damage, this grenade launcher isn't quite the force that it once was, but there's a lot of situations where this weapon's traps can really come in handy. Just like the Parasite, it can be a great option for solo players. You can stick enemies and then easily swap over to your other weapons, and it's for that reason that it can make for a great option against a lot of raid and dungeon bosses, especially if you're rotating through weapons that have perks like Envious Arsenal and Bait and Switch. Another exotic that's great for weapon rotations is the Tractor Cannon. This shotgun weakens enemies with a 30% debuff, increasing the damage from any source for a full 8 seconds. The only drawback to this weapon is that it requires you to be pretty close. There's plenty of lesser debuffs that could be applied, but unless you've got a Tether Hunter, there's never a better option to weaken an enemy than the Tractor Cannon, and it goes really well with shotgun focused builds. Finality's Auger would be another exotic that would promote the use of weapon rotations. This is like having an on-call second player. You can count on this weapon's turret to vaporize anything it locks onto, allowing you to rotate through your weapons and abilities as you need. What makes this exotic all the sweeter is its catalyst, which adds on Bait and Switch, promoting you even further to rotate through those other weapons. The final exotic that we'll talk about today is the Thunderlord. This should forever and always be on a top exotics to have list. It's great against large groups of ads, and it can easily melt big tanky enemies. It handles overload champions, and it makes for an easy to use option when it comes to optimal DPS. It might get looked at as a weapon for noobs, but this exotic is as reliable as they come, and it's more than earned its right to be amongst the best exotics in Destiny. With that said, we have now covered the top 5 exotics out of each weapon slot, the best exotics to heighten and improve your overall performance and experience. If there's an exotic that you feel should have been on this list, then be sure to let us know what that is down in the comments below. I wish you all the best of luck throughout your journey here in Edge of Fate. I hope you found today's video helpful and enjoyable. If so, then please be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. And so does being a member, so a big thank you to all the current members. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.